Aloha, Kau'i. Thank you for joining us today. And we will be starting our webinar in a couple of seconds. Okay, let's see. Let's pin.
Hi, Tomoko, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'll pin both of us. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. We are going to be starting our webinar.
Hey, mahalo for joining us today. I'm very sorry for running a little bit late. I was ending another webinar that went a little bit over. But again, mahalo for joining. My name is Kim Martinson, and I'm the career specialist from Maui College, and Tomoko Skinner is a career specialist from Hawaii CC. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 soft skills that you need. Okay, so let's get started. Having the technical skills and knowledge to successfully execute your job duties is one part of being the best you can be in the workplace. In addition to these hard skills, we also need soft skills. And no matter what your position, organization, or industry, you work with people. And taking the time to build effective soft skills can contribute to more effective, more harmonious, and more productive workplace, as well as your own overall job success and satisfaction and happiness. Okay, so workshop objectives. Research has consistently demonstrated that when clear goals are associated with learning, it occurs more easily and rapidly. With this in mind, we're going to review some of the goals for today. So at the end of this workshop, participants should be able to discuss how soft skills are important to success in the workplace, understand the top 10 soft skills everyone should have, and then use soft skills to relate more effectively to others in the workplace. Understand how to use these skills to communicate, and then apply soft skills to specific situations. And then we have a quote for you. It says, "I think we all have empathy. We may not have the courage to display it." Maya Angelou.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Okay, Module 2, what are soft skills? So simply put, soft skills are the personal attributes that allow us to effectively relate to others. These skills enhance our personal interactions and lead to greater job performance and satisfaction. Unlike hard skills, which are the technical and knowledge skill set we bring to our work, soft skills are interpersonal and can be applied in a broad array of situations. Soft skills encompass both personality traits such as optimism and abilities which can be practiced, such as empathy. Like all skills, soft skills can be learned. Definition of soft skills. Soft skills are personal attributes that allow us to effectively relate to others. Applying these skills help us build stronger work relationships, work more productively, and maximize our career prospects. Often we place the focus of our career development efforts on hard skills, technology skills, knowledge, and other skills that specifically relate to our ability to get work-related tasks done. This means we neglect to develop our soft skills. However, soft skills are directly transferable to any job, organization, or industry. As a result, they are an investment worth making. And soft skills include communication, listening, showing empathy, networking, self confidence, giving and receiving feedback. Okay, empathy and the emotional intelligence quotient. So, empathy, a vital soft skill, enables us to understand others' experiences and emotions, fostering strong interpersonal connections and teamwork. It's a crucial aspect of emotional intelligence, EI, which involves recognizing and managing feelings effectively for better relationships. So, there are self awareness, the ability to recognize our own feelings and motivations, self management, the ability to appropriately express or not express feelings. Social awareness, our ability to recognize the feelings and needs of others and the norms of a given situation. And lastly, relationship management, our ability to relate effectively to others. Taken together, these skills make up our emotional intelligence quotient, EQI. The EQI is a measure of your ability to exercise soft skills such as empathy. Okay, professionalism. So, professionalism is often misunderstood as being cold or distant, but it's actually about responsibility, integrity, and excellence. It doesn't mean sacrificing empathy or emotional intelligence. It's about showing up on time, dressing appropriately, communicating effectively, and maintaining high standards in your work. Okay, learn versus inborn traits. Soft skills may seem inherent, but they're actually learned abilities. Just like hard skills, they can be developed through practice. While some may come more naturally, all can be cultivated. Learning from others and seeking low risk opportunities to practice are effective ways to enhance your soft skills. You don't have to be born with them, they're skills you can build throughout your career. Okay, so we have a couple of review questions. Number one, which of the following are true of soft skills? A, they are aspects of a person's personality. B, they are actions as well as characteristics. C, they can promote better workplace efficiency. D, all of the above. Type in the chat box. Nice. I see a D. Anyone else? D. D. Correct. D is the correct answer. Soft skills are aspects of a person's personality that impact how they interact with others. They are learned and encompass both characteristics and actions. Okay, moving on. The ability to identify with another's feeling is known as which of the following? A, empathy. B, sympathy. C, projection. D, role playing. Which one is the correct answer? A, correct. A is the correct answer. Empathy. Okay. Number three, the ability to recognize our feelings and express them appropriately is known as which of the following? A, psychological intelligence. B, emotional intelligence. C, emotional regulation. D, emotion management. Which one is the correct answer? I see a B. I see a C. Anyone else? C. Okay, this one. B is the correct answer. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize our emotions and express them appropriately. Emotional intelligence is key to developing strong soft skills. Okay, another quote for you. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Peter Drucker. Okay, back to you, Kim.
Hey, communication. Communication is another very important soft skill because all other soft skills are built on the ability to communicate clearly and professionally. Communication is more than just sending a message, but it's also the ability to receive messages, listen actively, and hear what isn't being said. Many times we focus on learning to speak or write clearly, but this is only one component of communication, and perhaps not even the most important. So human ways we communicate. Human communication is complex. The first thing that comes to mind when we hear the word communication is often words, either spoken or written. But the words we speak and hear are just one way we communicate. And studies show that most of our communication takes place through other means. Humans communicate in many different ways, such as nonverbal communication. This is communication with words, such as eye contact or posture. Verbal communication is communication with words, both written and spoken. Body language is communication through gestures, your facial expressions, touching. Artistic communication is communication through images or other creative media. And there's also musical communication. And this is communication through music, whether with lyrics or without. Could just be instrumental. And many of us have a preferred method of communication, but all of us use these different forms at one point or another. And learning to communicate effectively in many forms helps us not only craft our own message, but when we receive messages as well. Okay, improving nonverbal communication. So studies show that up to 70%, actually it's more than 70%, of the information we communicate comes through nonverbal communication. This is our gestures, our eye contact, or lack thereof, right? Postures, clothing, and all other ways we use our bodies to send messages. Other studies show that if a person's nonverbal communication and verbal communication do not match in terms of a message, the listener is more likely to doubt what the speaker is saying. So improving your nonverbal communication can help your overall ability to help and receive messages. Improving your nonverbal communication starts with awareness. Pay attention to use your own body language and listening to someone. An open stance, frequent but not continuous eye contact. So you don't want to just stare at somebody, right? Nods and relaxed posture help to communicate. And when you open and when you're open, you're more approachable. And when you're communicating, helps you communicate honestly. A closed stance, folding your arms across your chest or staring at the floor, refusing to make eye contact, all indicate that you're not listening or that you're not communicating openly, you're not being honest. Shifting foot to foot or pacing or otherwise moving continuously, like looking and doing this, portrays impatience. You're getting bored with that person or you want to leave. We do many things without thinking about them. So a lot of this is subconscious. You might not realize you're tapping your foot because you're just becoming impatient and you're just like, okay, when is this person going to stop talking? I have to do something else. But the other person will probably pick up on that and they'll see that. So take time to notice both your own nonverbal communication and others, especially your reactions to other people's nonverbal communication. Okay, listening. The ability to receive a message is as important, if not more important, than the ability to send them. Listening is more than just hearing the words someone speaks. It's a total way of receiving verbal and nonverbal messages, processing them, and communicating that understanding back to the speaker. Many of us listen in order to respond, right? We are formulating our next message while the other person is still talking. We should actually listen to understand, to fully take in that person's message, to process, comprehend the message that is being sent, right? Active listening is sometimes thrown around as a buzzword, but is a valuable soft skill to develop. Active listening is a form of listening when you listen to the speaker and reflect back to what you understand the speaker to have said. And also give the speaker nonverbal feedback through nods, agreement, other techniques indicate that you're listening and understanding. Okay, active listening also is staying focused on the present, both by giving the speaker your full attention and keeping the discussion to the issue at hand. Reflect back to the speaker what you understand them to have said by carefully rephrasing the message, such as, so I hear what you're saying is this, or check for understanding and use I statements rather than you statements. Okay. Openness and honesty. Okay. Open, honest communication is the key to building workplace relationships and demonstrating professionalism. While you do not need to discuss personal or private topics in the workplace, being transparent and honest about work matters and generally being willing to communicate with others is vital. People can sense that someone is hiding something or withholding information and you tend to not trust them. This damages workplace trust and relationships, and you may lead to lowering productivity and morale. Each of us use a different level of comfort with what we choose to disclose about ourselves, but willing to share parts of yourself and with your colleagues also helps build that rapport, right? So it helps build that relationship with colleagues. You're more likely to trust them. Okay, so we have a couple review questions here for you. So question number 1, communication with written or spoken words is known as which of the following? A, verbal, B, nonverbal, C, oral, or D, none of the above? And if you just place it in the chat, what you think. Okay, great. So we see A's, yep, verbal communication is through words. This one, many different ways we communicate. Okay, question number 2. Approximately how much of our communication is nonverbal? We have 10% A, B 70%, C 50%, or D 90%. Okay, B. Yep, studies show that 70% is actually over 70% of our communication is nonverbal. So this is why having nonverbal communication is a key to building overall communication, building communication skills. Okay, next question. Which of the following communicates that a person is listening? A, leaning away from the speaker. B, crossing arms across the chest. C, looking away from the speaker. Or D, leaning forward towards the speaker. Great. I see a D, yep. So the answer is D. Leaning forward is one way to communicate that you are listening. An open stance, frequent eye contact is a great way to display that you're interested and you're communicating with them. Okay. So talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Michael Jordan. Okay, back to you, Tomoko.
Okay, module 4, teamwork. So even if you work fairly independently most of the time, inevitably you must also work with others. Finding ways to build teams that accomplish what needs to be done in the most efficient and accurate manner is often challenging, especially when bringing together team members with diverse sets of hard and soft skills. There are some basic techniques you can use when building or working with a team to help create a cohesive unit that leverages everyone's talents and ensures that each person contributes. Okay, identifying capabilities. So Einstein said that everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its life thinking it's not smart. When building a team, it is key to identify the different talents, skills, and capabilities each team member brings. Identifying what each team member does well and can contribute helps ensure that work is allocated in a way that takes full advantage of the talent resources on the team. Assigning a team member work that is completely outside their skill is a recipe for failure. On the other hand, leveraging all the diverse capabilities, skills, and talents on your team helps to achieve the maximum results. When you build or join a team, take the time at the outset to ask each member what they bring to the team. What skills, abilities, and relationships does each team member have that can enhance the project? What does each person feel they do well? How can the team use all these talents and capabilities to achieve the best outcome? Okay, get into your role. So when you're giving a role on a team, it's important to get into it. Be sure you know what is expected of you and what you can expect of others. Even if the role is a new one or a stretch for you, it is key to step into it. This also means stepping out of others' roles, even if they are roles you have played before. Use your communication skills to create open, honest dialogues with your other team members so that you are on the same page. Be clear about where your role begins and ends, and be willing to assert those boundaries. Teamwork can be challenging and the best of circumstances, but it is even more so when roles are unclear. A key step in creating a team is clearly outlining what each person's role is and is not. Okay, learn the whole process. Fully embracing your role in a team is crucial, yet it is equally important to understand the entire project process. This broader perspective not only clarifies your responsibilities, but fosters better collaboration and problem solving. Actively engaging with team members outside your area builds rapport and ensures everyone is prepared to assist in case of emergencies. Learning the whole process promotes a collaborative environment, enhancing communication and productivity. Okay, so this is the fun one, the power of flow. Psychologists define flow as a mental state that occurs when we are fully immersed in an activity. When we are in a flow state, we are completely absorbed in what we are doing, and this produces a feeling of energized, focused, and enjoyment. Tapping into flow is a powerful way to increase your own productivity and the productivity of your team. We are most likely to achieve flow when we are engaged in a task to which our skills are well matched. Another reason to identify the capabilities of each person on a team. So, flow also comes out more easily when we have clear goals and can focus on the process rather than the end product. Perhaps the most important key to achieving flow is to minimize interruptions when you are working. And when we can find a flow state, time seems to pass quickly without our noticing. We are also more likely to create accurate, high quality work with fewer errors. Because we are focused totally on what we are doing, a flow state may be a key aspect of mastering a new set of skills. Stretching your skill set and cultivating flow can be a great tool for professional development. Okay, so review questions. Number 1, which should be the first step in forming a team? A, identifying capabilities. B, allocating deliverables. C, setting a timeline. D, reviewing the budget. Which one is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? Yes, A is the correct answer. The first step in forming a team should be to identify capabilities. This helps ensure that everyone's skills are used to the fullest. Okay, question number 2. What should a team member learn when working on a team? A, how to mind your own goals. B, the whole process. C, only your own piece of the final deliverable. D, only the parts of the process that come directly before your own part. Which one is the correct answer? I see a B. B. Correct. B is the right answer. All team members should learn the whole process. This allows for a greater collaboration and understanding. Okay. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. This is a quote from Albert Einstein. And back to you, Kim.
Okay, problem solving. No matter what your industry or your role, problem solving is part of your job. Whether the problem you encounter are big or small, you solve problems every day. And learning how to apply problem solving skills helps not only to enhance productivity, but also helps cultivate relationship by focusing on shared goals and solutions. So define the problem. You can't solve a problem if you don't know what it is. The first step is solving any problem should be to define the problem itself. Oftentimes, what we think is a problem is only a symptom of a larger issue. Take time to define the problem clearly. Figure out what the problem is exactly and clearly define it. It means that you can move forward with solutions that will actively solve it rather than just resolve the symptoms or temporarily stop the chaos. Taking time to define the problem is especially important if emotions are running high or interactions are getting heated. It puts the focus back on shared goals and allows everyone to be heard. Okay, generating alternative solutions. Once you define a problem, you can move on to solutions. It is important not to just choose the first solution that presents itself, or nor should you just push your own preferred solution to the exclusion of others, right? So instead, take the time to generate alternative solutions and ask others involved what their ideas are and ask them for help in solving this problem. Discuss the ways in which the alternative solutions might play out. So problems that might be encountered and how obstacles can be overcome. Apply active listening and clear communication throughout. When the group has generated many solutions, discuss which ones you would like to move forward with, but do it together. Okay. Evaluate the plans. Your list of alternative solutions generated, it is time to make plans and evaluate them. Give all alternative solutions equally fair treatment. Ask the group to brainstorm potential benefits to each alternative solution or plan, and then work with the group to anticipate potential obstacles or problems with each plan. And then based on these discussions, evaluate which plans or plans seem to offer the greatest benefit with the fewest drawbacks. Also considering what the necessary resources, people, time, materials, funding, make sure you have all that available for each proposed plan. As the plans are evaluated, it will quickly become clear which is actually workable and which is not. And then you want to narrow the list until the most workable plans are found. Okay. Okay, so implementation and reevaluation. Once the most workable plan has been chosen, it is time to implement it. It is important to communicate clearly about how the plan will be implemented and what each person's role will be in this plan and what goals are expected and what outcomes. The other soft skills you are developing, such as teamwork and communication, are vital here. And people must feel as though they are part of the solution if you want them to buy into it, and also provide a timeline for that plan, including the point at which the plan will be reevaluated. Reevaluation of the plan is a step that often gets missed. And sometimes what appears to be the most workable plan on paper does not necessarily always play out in action. It is important to take the time to reevaluate the plan once it has been implemented so that you can gauge how well it's actually working. And depending on the results, you might need to make some changes to the plan or implement a new plan altogether. Reevaluation helps to determine whether the original plan has, in fact, been solved. Okay, review questions. So the first one, here, let's see. Which should be your first step in problem solving? A, define the problem. B, generate the solution. C, place the blame. Or D, none of the above. Good, 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 good. A, the first step in problem solving should be to define the problem. You can't solve the problem if you do not know what it is. Okay, next one. Which of the following is true of defining the problem? A, it makes it easier to place blame. B, it helps finding the underlying issues rather than the symptoms. C, it's just unnecessary. Or D, none of these. Yes, great. B, defining the problem helps to find the underlying issues. Often what we think is the problem is merely just a symptom or of something larger that may be hidden. Okay, next question. What should be considered when evaluating plans? A, resources needed. B, potential problems. C, timeline. Or D, all of the above. What do you guys think? Great, yep. Evaluating a plan, it's key to evaluate whether the necessary resources are present, right? Do you have the resources, the money available to actually execute this plan? Is it also a key to evaluate? It's also the key to evaluate the time needed and any other potential problems or obstacles that may come up. Okay, we have another quote. Priority management is the answer we have to maximizing the time we have. John Maxwell. Okay, back to you, Tomoko.
Okay. So module 6, time management. We all have the same number of hours in the day. So why is it that some people seem to get so much more done? The ability to effectively manage your time is key to productivity. You may not be able to create more time in your day, but applying time management skills can help you make the most of the time you do have. Okay, the art of scheduling. So just like we schedule appointments and errands, it's essential to schedule our work tasks too. This helps us manage our time better and prioritize tasks effectively. By blocking out specific time slots for each task and including breaks, we ensure that important work gets done. It also helps us remember what needs to be accomplished. Keep track of how you spend your time for a week to refine your scheduling skills and accurately estimate task durations. Prioritizing. Managing your priority is key to managing your time. Taking the time to determine what is most important, whether in terms of value or in terms of completion, is the first step. Take time each day and week to determine what your priorities for the coming days are. Slot these into your schedule first. This allows you to ensure that time is blocked off and resources allocated for the most important tasks and projects. When we don't take time to set the priorities, everything becomes equally urgent, which means that we move from task to task in a way that is haphazard and does not make the best use of our time or energy. Setting priorities help ensure that you take care of the things that are most pressing or which deliver the most value. Prioritizing is especially key when working with others. If people who must work together have differing senses of what the priorities are, this can lead to miscommunication, conflict, and reduced productivity. Okay, managing distractions. A major key to productivity, especially if you want to find a flow state, is to manage your distractions. Distractions happen, we can minimize them and manage them, but never eliminate them altogether. Creating a plan for managing distraction is a key time management skill. The first step is to determine what your major distractions are. Is it colleagues popping into your office? Is it your email or voicemail? Do you get bored with routine tasks if you have to focus on them too long? Figuring out what your major distractions are can help you brainstorm solutions and better management. Some common distractions are colleagues stopping by to chat, checking email or voicemail, noise in the environment, clutter in your workspace, boredom after spending too long on one task. And you can solve these by establishing open door hours, or closing your door or otherwise indicating please do not disturb, or using noise cancellation headphones, setting a regular time to check voicemail or emails, and letting calls go to voicemail too, and decluttering your workspace and building in breaks. The multitasking myth. Multitasking, exactly what it sounds like, trying to do more than one thing at a time. And many of us multitask throughout our day, listening to a colleague while checking an email, working on a document while talking on the phone. We have the idea that we get more done when we multitask, or that is the best way to maximize our time. However, studies show that 30 to 40% more time is spent when you multitask rather than when you monotask. That means work on one thing at a time. Multitasking also means your attention is divided, which can lead to miscommunication and errors. Multitasking can also damage relationship as it may convey that we're not really interested in what another is saying. It can be difficult to break the multitasking habit, but it is key if we are to be the best we can be. Okay, review questions. Number 1, what can help you better schedule tasks? A good paper planner. B, setting priorities. C, documenting your time for 1 week. D, all of the above. Type in the chat box. D. I see a D. D, correct. D is the correct answer. Using a good paper or computer planner is one way to schedule your time. Also, set your priorities and document how you spend your time so that you can effectively make a schedule. Okay, question number 2. What happens when we fail to set priorities? A, all tasks become equally urgent. B, we don't know what to do first. C, we waste time. D, all of the above. Type in the chat box. D. Yes, correct. When we don't set priorities, all tasks become equally urgent. This makes it hard to know when to start, which can result in wasted time. Okay, review question number 3. What does managing distraction help do? A, cultivate flow. B, boost productivity. C, manage time. D, all of the above. Type in the chat box. Correct. D is the correct answer. Managing distraction is key to cultivating flow. A flow state helps us be more productive. Managing distraction is key to managing time. Okay, we have one more for you. Compared to monotasking, multitasking takes A, half the time, B, 10% more time, C, 30% more time, D, the same amount of time. Which one is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? Okay, I see a D. Compared to monotasking, multitasking takes half the time or 10% more or 30% more or about the same. Okay, I see a D. C is the correct answer. Multitasking takes more time than monotasking. Typically, multitasking takes about 30% longer. Okay. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Another quote from Albert Einstein. And back to you, Kim.
Okay. Attitude and work ethic. Creating a positive attitude is one of the best things you can do for your productivity and your workplace happiness. People who have consistently positive attitudes are seen as approachable and can build more effective workplace relationships. A positive attitude also serves you well when you're facing challenges and setbacks. It breeds resilience. Coupled with a positive attitude, a strong work ethic helps you build strong relationships with teammates and superiors. And a solid work ethic also helps you find a reward in your work that you do. It shows dedication, not just to goals and outcomes, but to your overall professional development. So what are you working for? So being clear about what you're working for is a key part of building a positive attitude and a stronger work ethic. If you're not sure what you're working for, it can be difficult or even impossible to fully invest in a project or in developing your skills. So you want to take time to clarify your own personal goals and what they are, both in terms of specific projects and in terms of your overall career. Set specific goals and then create plans to achieve them. Tie these goals to your day-to-day tasks and responsibilities so that you can keep them in sight. When you're working with a team, it is also vital that you outline a clear group goals. Know what each member of the group is working for and what the group is collectively working for. Find ways to consistently tie individuals, tasks, or steps to overreaching group goals and individual members' personal goals. Okay. Caring for others versus caring for self. Is there really a difference between caring for others and caring for yourself? Too often we assume that to show care and concern for others and their needs, we have to put ourselves and our needs at the bottom of the list. We may believe that we can either practice self-care or be a good colleague and team member who demonstrates compassion for others, but we cannot be both, right? So we know this, we might feel like this, right? However, we come to the realization that when we share goals with those we work with, we can find a way to both care for ourselves and care for others. We may also realize that caring for ourselves is in itself a way of demonstrating care for others. That by taking good care of ourselves, we become the best colleagues that we can be, which demonstrate care for others. And moreover, we may hold the false belief that we can only be, there can only be one winner, right, in any given situation. And as a result, we may believe that we can pursue our own goals or help others pursue theirs, but never doing both. And then seeing ways in which everyone is interconnected and ways in which everyone's success benefits the entire group is an important attitude shift. We can find a way to care for others and ourselves. We develop a more positive, productive workplace. Okay, and then building trust. Nothing undermines productivity and morale in the workplace like the lack of trust. If people don't trust you, they find it hard to work with you, invest in you, or pursue shared goals. You want to take the time to build trust with those you work with, and everyone will thrive. Many of the soft skills help to build trust: effective communication, openness and honesty, positive attitude, and strong work ethic. Continuously demonstrating that you are trustworthy helps to not only build personal relationships, but also to create a buy-in for your initiatives and projects. And people who are deemed trustworthy by colleagues share some of these characteristics. They share skills at their jobs. They are passionate about their work and at work they have a strong work ethic. They communicate honestly and value transparency. They have others' best interests at heart, and they care about people and demonstrate this. And they're also self-aware, aware. Oh my Lord, sorry. Okay. And then work is its own reward. So one result of adopting a positive attitude and strong work ethic is that you begin to see work as its own reward. And when we operate from this standpoint, we're no longer working with others or competing tasks based on what we will gain financially or professionally from doing so. And this makes us seem more engaged and trustworthy. There's nothing wrong with valuing our salaries and our compensation. Obviously, we want to get paid, right? We're going to work because we need money to be able to buy things. So this is a given. There are still vital parts on why we work, right? We need financial stability. However, when we take the focus of the material rewards away from work and instead focus on the satisfaction we derive from work itself, we are better able to grow and thrive. A person who clearly loves what they do and considers it a reward in itself is also more trustworthy, as others that do not question, and others usually don't question their motives. It is difficult for you to consider your work as anything other than a source of a paycheck or a path to advancement. It may be time for you to consider what you do, consider the work that you do. Learning to practice gratitude around your work is one way to learn to see it as its own reward. What does your work provide in terms of satisfaction, contentment, excitement? Are there other non-material benefits in the work that you're doing? Are you excited to do the work that you do? Are you excited to go to work every day? Are you excited to see coworkers? Why or why not? Do you feel content at the job or at the end of the day with what you've accomplished? Every day won't always be a dream come true. We all have bad days in any job, right? And there's always those rough days. But if you can find a way to love the work that you do the majority of the time, right? You are on a path to greater professional and personal happiness. Okay. First question. A focus on which type of goal helps to build a relationship. A, your own, B, others, C, shared goals, or D, all of the above. Okay, I have a C, I see a D. Okay, the answer is actually D, all of the above. Being clear what you are working for is a key to success, and finding a way to balance focus on your own goals, others' goals, and then shared goals is a key skill to learn. Okay, next question. Which of the following is not true of self-care? It demonstrates self-awareness, A. It is important as caring for others, B. It needs to be done at the expense of others, C. And D, it demonstrates selfishness. Okay, what do you think? Self-care. Okay, I see D. Thank you. Self-care is not selfish, but sometimes we feel like it might be selfish if we're indulging in something that's gratifying for ourselves at the time. It's just a sign that you're self-aware and is as important as demonstrating care for others. So you guys got to remember that. Okay? Remember self-care. Okay, next question. How should you view work? A, as its own reward. B, solely as a way to make money. C, as a path to power. Or D, as a way to build confidence. Okay, what do you think? Okay, I see A. Okay, yep. It's in its own reward. We should see work as its own reward. And when we see work in this way, we are happier and usually we're more productive. Okay, next quote. You must always be able to predict what's next and have the flexibility to evolve. Mark Benioff. Benioff. Jamal, go back to you.
Okay, thank you. Module A, adaptability and flexibility. So two of the most important skills you can have are adaptability and flexibility. Some people mistakenly think that the ability to change according to the needs of situation or willingness to compromise show weakness or lack of conviction. In reality, the ability to compromise, change in response to changing situations and changing needs, and to thrive are key to success in the fast-paced workplaces most of us find ourselves in. Change can be scary, but learning to adapt and flex as needed is an investment worth making. Okay, getting over the good old days syndrome. But that's how we've always done it. Things were better back when we. So, do you find yourself saying these things or hear someone say things like this? So, most of the time, we fall prey to the good old days syndrome, where we look back at the past and believe that everything was better. This can pose a serious obstacle to our ability to adapt to change. If we are convinced that the good old days were best, we're unlikely to give a new way of doing things a fair try. When you find yourself thinking back to the good old days, give yourself a reality check. Ask yourself if things were really as good as you think you remember. Most of us romanticize the past. Be honest with yourself. Try to recall obstacles, problems, or difficulties you had with the thing you're remembering as so good. And remember, there were people in the good old days who were wishing for their own good old days. Okay, changing to manage process. So one of the most common situations in which we will need to change, flex, and adapt is when processes change. In order to navigate the new process and help others to do the same, we need to change not only what we do, but how we approach it. New technology, globalizing businesses, and changing needs all lead to changes in our work processes. If we hold on to the old way of doing things, we risk reduced productivity and revenue, as well as conflict and other challenges. When we adapt to a new process, we're not just learning a new way of doing a specific task. We're demonstrating our ability to adapt to changing circumstances, learn new skills, and work with others. Changing to manage people. Managing people is not a one-size-fits-all ability. People need different things from a manager. Some needs a lot of feedback and guidance. Others prefer to work independently most of the time and to get feedback only at regularly scheduled intervals. Some people need a great deal of hands-on training with technology or equipment, while others will come into your organizations as experts. So taking the time to learn what your people need and then changing your management style to meet those needs is hugely important to workplace success. When you adapt your management style to meet the specific needs of the people you manage, This demonstrates that you care for others, that rather than expecting them to conform to your preferred way of doing things, you want to invest in them and help them grow. And take the time to ask people you manage what they need from you, what their goals are, and how you can be a better manager, supervisor, or a colleague. Then take steps to make the changes that you feel will be most helpful. Showing your worth, your weight in adaptability. So, how can you showcase your adaptability at work? Studies show that people who are highly adaptable may be more highly valued at work than those who are highly skilled but less willing to adapt, flex, and change. Take the time to show how adaptable you are, and your workplace is likely to see you as a worthwhile investment. Some ways to demonstrate adaptability on the job are: be open to alternative solutions when your first suggestion doesn't go over well or succeed. Another one is be willing to take on new roles even when they are a stretch for your skills. And be willing to help others generate alternative solutions or plans. Be willing to accept the unexpected. Another one is keep your calm even when things are moving fast or stressful. And lastly, demonstrate confidence in your ability to complete the job even when you've had to adapt or flex. Okay, review questions. What is true of changing to manage people? A, it demonstrates that you care about others. B, it is necessary because all people are different. C, it requires adaptability. D, all of the above. What is the correct answer? Yes, correct. D is the correct answer. People cannot all be managed with the same style. Changing to manage people shows adaptability and concern for others. Okay, moving on. Which of the following shows adaptability? A, generating alternative solutions. B, taking on new roles. C, demonstrating confidence. And all of the above. Okay, D is the correct answer. Generating alternative solutions and taking on new roles show adaptability. Demonstrating confidence and keeping calm are also traits of adaptable people. Okay, question number 3. 2 of the most important skills you can have are A, talent, B, adaptability, C, flexibility, D, B, and C. Type in the chat box. Yes, correct. D, 2 of the most important skills you can have are adaptability and flexibility. Correct. And another quote for you. Self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. Samuel Johnson. Okay, back to you, Kim.
Self-confidence or owning it. So the single greatest thing you can do for your own success is build and learn to show self-confidence. Self-confidence is not egotistic or acting like you're better than others. Self-confidence is simply the belief that you know what you do and how to do it. That you are good at what you do and you can handle whatever comes your way. And then demonstrating self-confidence helps in you have trust in you and demonstrate that you're skilled and adaptable. Okay, so confident traits. So what does it mean to be confident? Studies show that confident people share many of the same traits, even across cultures and industries. And then cultivating these traits you already have and developing those that you may not have yet will build your overall self-confidence. So remember, self-confidence is about building yourself up and not tearing others down. And when you're confident, you make others around you feel confident too. So some traits are, they're not afraid of being wrong. They're willing to take a stand, even if they end up being wrong. They value finding out what is right more than valuing being right. They listen more than they speak. And they don't always seek out spotlight. They ask for help when they need it. They're not ashamed to do that. They don't put others down, and they aren't afraid to look silly or foolish. They acknowledge their mistakes. That's big. And they send feedback for those who matter. They accept compliments and they walk their talk. Okay, so self-question. How confident are you? It can be hard to assess your own self-confidence. And so taking some time to ask a few of these questions and then answering them honestly can help you gauge the areas where your confidence is high and other areas in which you can develop better self-confidence. So you want to ask yourself if you agree with these statements. The first one, I walk my talk. So I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm honest with others. I'm honest with myself. I feel comfortable being wrong, and I acknowledge when I am wrong. I'm more interested in finding out what is right than being right. I feel like I can meet any challenge. I operate well under pressure. I do not put others down, and I like to share the spotlight with others. Okay. So surefire self-confidence and building tactics. So self-confidence is a trait that can be built upon. In fact, with a few very simple tactics, you can help you quickly build up your self-confidence. And as soon as you become more confident, you will start to experience that will build your confidence even more. So here are some surefire tips that can help. So dress your best. We've all dressed really well. If you're going to a wedding or a job interview or something that you just put on and it just makes you feel good, right? That's important. So when you know you look good, you project confidence. So take the time to choose clothes that fit well and make you feel good. And if you need a new haircut or you like to do your makeup or put jewelry on or accessories, do that and make you feel good. And you're going to project that self-confidence and make you feel like $1 million, right? You want to stand up straight. Good posture is a quick way to to build up your self-confidence. And even if you don't know it, standing up straight actually will make you put into a different headspace. You stand up straight. And a bonus to good posture is to let you breathe more deeply and get more oxygen, which helps people become more focused, more calmer. And then practice gratitude. When you take the time each day to practice gratitude, you see how many blessings you actually have in your own life. And this builds your confidence and appreciation in your life. And then compliment others. Confident people take time to compliment others, right? When you compliment others, you project that you have concern and appreciation for these other people. And then accept compliments. If somebody's complimenting you, say thank you. I know sometimes it makes people feel uncomfortable to accept compliments. Sometimes you say, yeah, but, and then you kind of squash it. Just say thank you and own it, right? And then spend time with people who build you up. This is important. And this keeps you focused and positive. Okay, moving on. So building others. Okay, so one key trait of people who have high self-confidence is that they build others up rather than tearing them down. And having self-confidence means that you do not feel competitive with others. Their success doesn't necessarily take away from your own, and find ways to build up others, such as complimenting them, acknowledging their contributions, and express your gratitude. Being a mentor can also help build others up by helping them develop these skills, which will help them develop their own self-confidence as well. Okay, review question. Which of the following are traits of self-confident people? We have A, they compliment others. B, they accept compliments. C, they aren't afraid to look silly. And D, all the above. Yep, this one's easy. Yep, confident people accept compliments, they compliment others, and they aren't afraid of being silly. Okay, next question. Self-confident people do not do which of these? A, put others down. B, pay for other compliments. C, mentor others. Or D, share the spotlight. Or I'm sorry, B is pay others compliments. Yes, A is correct. Self-confident people do not put others down. Instead, they focus on building them up. Okay. Which of the following is a way to build up another person? A, be a mentor. B, pay them compliments. C, share the spotlight. And D, all the above. Okay, great. D, yes. All of these are great ways to help build up other people. Okay. Next quote. I like criticism. It makes you strong. LeBron James. Okay, Tomoko, back to you.
Okay, module 10. Ability to learn. No one likes criticism, but the ability to learn from it is a key to professional and personal development. Learning to accept and learn from criticism is a valuable investment in yourself. The ability to learn, listen, and to accept criticism is a key component of self-confidence. It also demonstrates that you value what others have to say and helps develop a sense that you are committed to what you do and to your own growth. Wow, you mean I'm not perfect? It can come as a shock when we get feedback that we're not as perfect as we might like to think. However, one of the hallmarks of a confident person is the willingness to recognize mistakes and accept that sometimes we are wrong. The key is to keep the focus on improvement, not on defending ourselves or on the reasons why we did the thing we are being criticized for. When you accept that you're not perfect, and that imperfection doesn't mean you're a bad person. You have gained a valuable skill. Remember that no one expects you to be perfect. They just expect you to be the best you can. And criticism is offered in the spirit of helping you achieve excellence, not to make you feel bad. Listen with an open mind. Your active listening skills come in very handy when you're learning to accept and learn from criticism. It is tempting to defend ourselves when we receive criticism, but it's vital to resist this. When someone offers you feedback or criticism, listen with an open mind. You may not agree with all or any of what they have to say, but it is important to hear the person out. Reflect back what you understand the person to have said and check for understanding. Answer any questions non defensively and do not interrupt. Listen to understand, not to respond. Okay, analyze and learn. After someone has given you feedback or criticism, it is fine to ask for time to consider what they have said. Always thank the person for the feedback. Take time to analyze the feedback and decide what items you want to act on. Give yourself time, especially if you feel defensive. Even if you do not agree with everything the person said, see what you can draw out of the feedback that you can learn from. When you have analyzed the feedback, choose some action items that you can use going forward. You should then investigate training, courses, mentoring, or other ways in which you can act on the areas of feedback that you agree with or think are valid. If you have difficulty analyzing the feedback, seek out the help of a mentor, supervisor, or trusted colleague. Okay. Clear the air and don't hold any grudges. So even when it's not meant to be, criticism and feedback can feel extremely personal. When someone gives you feedback, it's important to clear the air and not hold on to any bad feelings or grudges. Take time to thank the person for their time and caring enough to give you feedback. Affirm the relationship, especially if the criticism has been harsh or difficult to hear. Remember that when people give you feedback, they're doing so with your best interests at heart. If you find yourself feeling defensive or holding on to negative feelings after the feedback session, make sure to find a way to clear the air as soon as possible. This demonstrates not only that you're committed to your own growth, but you value the relationship with the person who gave you the feedback. Okay, review questions. What should you focus on when receiving feedback? A, what you can learn. B, whether you agree. C, defending yourself. D, giving feedback to the other person. Okay, A, B, or C? Okay, A, correct. When receiving feedback, keep the focus on what you can learn. Listen with an open mind. Number 2, what should you do after getting feedback? Analyze feedback. B, identify areas you feel are valid. C, make a plan to learn from the feedback. D, all of the above. D, yes, correct. Always take time to analyze the feedback, then make a plan for what you will do to learn from it. Okay. Number 3, one of the hallmarks of a confidence person is the willingness to A, address criticism. B, instigated criticism. C, seek out criticism. D, accept that they might be wrong. Which one is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? D, correct. One of the hallmarks of a confident person is the willingness to recognize mistakes and accept that sometimes we are wrong. Okay. Networking is an essential part of building wealth. Armstrong Williams. And back to you, Kim.
Okay, networking, and this is our last module. Networking is more than just a buzzword, and taking the time to network and build relationship is a key soft skill. Networking helps you create connections with others, which expands your circle of learning and support. And networking is more than just meeting people or connecting with them on the internet. It involves building a mutual beneficial links where you can learn from and benefit from each other and your relationship. Okay, redefine need. When many people think of networking, they think of terms of what they need or what they can get out of this networking relationship. Networking can be more beneficial if we instead think of what we can give in our networking relationship. So think about what you have to offer people instead of what you need from them. And when you think in terms of what you can actually offer as well as what you need from others, it expands your network. You begin to seek out people to whom you can offer yourself as an expertise or your talents rather than just those who have something to offer you. And seeing yourself as someone with much to offer also helps boost up your self-confidence. Okay, identifying others' interests. When you network with others, it's key to identify others' interests. This helps you identify common interests and goals, as well as areas in which you can offer of yourself. When you meet a new person, ask about their goals and their interests. Ask yourself how they mesh with your own goals and interests. And then how do they align with the goals and interests of your organization? How can you integrate your interests with others to find a common ground? You might think, what common goals do you have? You can offer yourself to help others to reach their goals. You could think, how can you help you reach your goals, or focusing on ways to reach your goals and interests integrate others. So you want to help create a strong professional network that goes beyond a simple friendship. So to be able to network, you have to be able to reach out. There are many ways to do this, both online and in person. And one of the easiest ways to reach out is to join a professional or social networking sites, such as LinkedIn, and people in your industry who might share your interests. Join groups both online and in person, and professional groups and associations that might promote skills and develop that you might develop, such as Toastmasters, and groups that work for causes that you value are all good choices. So no matter what you choose as a method of meeting people, the key part of networking is to talk to people, right? Just talk. Approach people and start a conversation. Cultivate a presence that makes you approachable. Be responsive to when people contact you via your email or phone, and make time to schedule each week to work on networking. And you want to kind of schedule this is a way, kind of an important task. So put this on, if you're making like a checklist of tasks, you kind of want to put this at the top. And then use these soft skills, right? Listening actively, projecting self-confidence, on building others up as you network. Okay. Okay, when to back off. I'm sorry, I'm working from home and I have my dog barking in the background. I apologize. Okay, when to back off. As important as knowing how and when to reach out is knowing when to back off. So if you're talking to somebody and you're reaching out to somebody and they don't respond to you, or they don't accept your invitation on LinkedIn or social media, this is kind of when you start to back off. Maybe they're not interested in forming a relationship with you, and that's okay. And that's perfectly fine. If they're not responding to your emails, that's okay. But you don't want to be the person that's going to constantly kind of nag them. You can send 1 or 2 emails. If you don't get anything back, that's okay. You don't want to go into stalker mode where you're constantly doing it like on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And if they're not contacting you, you're sending emails, sending emails. You don't want to do that, right? So you just want to avoid them. Oh my, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll move on to the questions. Tomoka, would you like to read these for me?
Yes, sure can, sure can. Okay. What should you think about when you network? A, what other people can offer you. B, what you can offer others. C, what will result in the most benefit to you. D, none of the above. Type in the chat box. Yes, B. B is the correct answer. When networking, think in terms of what you can offer to others. Okay, moving on. What should you do when a person is not responding to your networking efforts? A, back off. B, pursue them. C, ask others to intervene. D, none of the above. Type in the chat box. A, B, C, or D. Yes. This is an easy one. It is important to know when to back off when networking. You don't want to alienate the other person. And this is probably not only networking, this will be the same with our private life as well. Okay. Which is a sign that you should back off? A, the person doesn't respond to your emails. B, the person keeps rescheduling meetings. C, the person doesn't accept your social media requests. D, all of the above. Okay, I see a D. D. Yes, D is the correct answer. All of these are signs you should back off. If a person is unresponsive, it is wise not to pursue them. Ooh, yes. Okay, wrapping up. So, although this workshop is coming to a close, we hope that your journey to improve your soft skill is just beginning. And we wish you the best of luck on the rest of your travels and your finals week. And we have a couple of these wonderful quotes for you. And before you leave, thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you.
yes, we really appreciate you guys. And if you can fill out this very short survey, we will be really, really appreciative. And thank you so much. Aloha Friday, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for the added noise.